Good evening, all, and welcome to Saturday. Gonna be having a bit of a chill night, so it's getting warmer, and working on a new doll from the last stream. So let's have some fun. Ian VTuber, VTuber. Yeah, that's right. Alrighty, let's see. Go to here. Not as late as I could have been. Good evening, all. Gonna be working on a new doll, so let's have some fun. Have some fun drawing. Welcome in, Izo. Hopefully the evening's running well on your side so far. Thank you for the sombrero and the die. Hopefully things are going relatively hard on your side so far. I'm just getting the advertisement stuff done and out of the way, so I'll be good in a moment. Don't want to double up. Oops. Hey, the Solace. Welcome in. Hopefully the stream's running well on, or it's the stream. Hopefully the night's running well on your side so far. I'm just getting set up. Don't mind me. Jason's side. Solace's side. Kin's side, since I'm actually doing art this time. There. Alrighty, why don't we get this started then? Do probably need a physical trigger for the main screen, but there we go. There. Trying to convince Solace to play Noita. What else does Solace like aside from shields? I mean, to some extent, Solace would probably like the aspects of flight that you end up getting in that game, or just trying to maneuver around the... Oh, it's a sketch layer. Okay. Solace would probably like the flight aspects of things a good bit, and you could probably convince him about the potential for multiplayer that exists within it. But you do gotta be a little careful. There we go. That's what I need. But you've got options at least. Considering Noita's a bit of a roguelite-ish game anyways, you kind of got to focus on the random chance of anything really being useful. I'm not sure exactly if the explosive nature of Noita would help at all Solace, but you do generally need some form of explosions just to get past what you're working on. Hello, radio. Ooh, that actually could have been worse. Um, do that just to make sure we don't do that. I know what kind of game this is. I start and I die. I repeat. I mean, yes, Solace. That is kind of what most roguelites are until you just figure out the best mechanics to actually succeeding and not immediately dying in it. But I guess that is just kind of the crutch point at this rate, Ezo, is you're going to have to convince Solace that roguelites are actually fun and not mind-meltingly frustrating going through time and time again. And I can't exactly help with that. That's just the first 50 runs. Then if you start, you spend 6 hours making an awesome overpowered build and then you die. Yeah, that's pretty much how roguelites work, to be honest with you. The only roguelite I find that I don't usually just get immediately stomped in would be things like The Binding of Isaac, but that's because you learn the item synergy and just the layout of the game enough that it doesn't become a huge problem. But I think Isaac is one of the easier to start ones, so I can't really fault it too much. No, just squiggly, Jude. Noita is not that RNG based. It really just rewards you for knowing the map and for learning the build of the wands. Technically true, yeah. Because at least when it does come down to Noita, you do have the... Like, you get a random wand at the start of every round, and you get random wands during your gameplay, but you can kind of mix and match the abilities on them and just craft what you want or what you're comfortable with, or just craft what is conventionally good. Um, so there is at least some benefit there in terms of trying to make your build what you want instead of just relying on RNG. So it's not like something in Isaac where you get like, oh, you've picked up bomb tiers or the epic fetus, I'm pretty sure is one example of it. Both the fetus and the epic fetus, that just changes your tier type to bombs permanently without doot 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 a certain other level of customization. I just completely lost my fucking sentence. And is this Jude, the refrigerator? This is in fact Jude. Welcome in, fish. Hopefully the evening's running relatively well so far on your side. And technically all art is pixel art? Technically. If you want to go into the rabbit hole of trying to discuss that with other people, but... Dude. We are more so just working on... Dude. Larger scale anyway, so... We're not going to get the same definition of pixel art that you would technically expect when you're just kind of thinking about the medium. And yeah, I'd say oil paintings aren't, but you do generally just, when digitizing it, get to the specifics of why someone would try and meme on it and just try and be like, oh yeah, it's definitely pixel art. Leave pen tools when I'm using. There we go. Let's see, what if a program a computer art to do oil painting? There is technically a art program that does proper oil painting now, which is mildly terrifying, but it's at least cool that we've gotten far enough that we could emulate the physics of oil and like watercolor based painting, I believe, is in that system as well. Honestly, kind of a nice change of pace too, but I don't think it's super open in people's eyes just yet. we're gonna have to see until that one becomes a little bit more readily available to the public. Instead of just being functionally a meme build, I guess is the best way of putting it, really. There we go. Do, do, do. Then what if I program Nizbot to make art and I stop drawing altogether? I mean, if you're starting to program Nizbot to start doing art for EZO, then that's going to put you out of a job eventually. People aren't going to be paying you to do art. They're just going to be paying Nizbot, and you're just going to be on the corner strumming your guitars looking for work while Nizbot's painting Michelangelos in the corner. Got to be real careful, or else Nizbot's just going to take your place. That's kind of the main thing you got to worry about. Also, no. There we go. I mean, Nizbot is pretty cool, but I'm pretty sure Nizbot doesn't have any refrigeration built into her. EZO, you're more than welcome to contest that. I don't really know the schematics of Nizbot at all. All I know is that she exists, and that she'd probably have, like, a speaker system built into her or something. So the equivalency of an Alexa. No. On the contrary, she has stuff that she can burn you to a crisp. Okay, so she's a toaster oven then. Something that I could give bagel bites to and actually have those cooked nice, fresh, and ready. That's not too bad. Always got to have someone around who'd be able to actually cook your bagel bites relatively easily for you. There we go. And where am I? There. Then just shorten that up a bit. There we go. Nizbot's pretty cool, so need a refrigeration station. Fair. And then... Don't say Alexa's name, because it'd be probably worrying if Alexa tried to plan world domination behind your back. Or asking Alexa, please order some bagel bites. Good. I'll probably do that in shading. Now would I want to do that here? Yeah, that could work, actually. Hold on. You gotta follow the line, though. There we go. Let's see. Play Terrorizer Horde of Zombies. Now, Ys, are you trying to rupture everybody's eardrums, or is that just a good song that we should realistically be listening to? Gonna do that. You tried, but I got you. She can't hear a thing unless I uncover a speaker a tiny bit. Y'all are lucky I'm too poor to even think about having an Alexa in the first place. So it's not like me ever saying it is ever going to trigger anything. I get everything up there? Technically. Although this could also be one. There. Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Oh, it's a good thing I can hear that. Let's see. Your own built-in Alexa? And is it racist to assume all bots searched Alexa? Yeah, pretty much. Good. Then here, this part doesn't need to be puffy, so we don't gotta worry about that yet. This is gonna cause problems, so no. Okay. Feels the internet find answers to questions. I mean, so do you? So I could call you an Alexa as well, Fish? Being able to use Google does not make you an Alexa. Being able to use Google just means you live in the 20th century. Let's see, now how did I actually do that? Okay. Then here. And here. Well, too hard. There we go. Oh, thank you for the box. In fact, the only robot class that's not Alexa is one of my mains in Smash. Okay. Even though he does listen to digitized orders and is only required to listen to what he's told and has no free will of his own. Outside of, the Smash Bros. Canon, but Smash Bros. Canon does a lot more than him than what Nintendo actually does. No. Does kind of need to be here-ish. Then curve up. There we go. Plus 10 to sneaking. Honestly, if I actually got the snake stealth boost, that would actually be lovely. He presses buttons to help programmers on a single game he was designed to play. Calling him a switchboard is probably a quicker way of doing that, Fish, but dude, that's technically all Rob is just another computer with a switchboard on him, so. Here. Go around, get rid of that. I'm sorry, hair, but I gotta worry about these lovely little plaid cuffs. There we go. Have you not seen Rob crank 90s in Fortnite? No. Why would I watch Fortnite gameplay? I have a life to live. And just because it's Rob? Just because Rob is playing a game that's popular in this day and age does not necessarily mean that I need to watch it just because it's him. There are people who also play Fortnite with bananas too, and I don't really imagine seeing Donkey Kong watching them. Oh, too big. No, too much. Fix that up a bit. There we go. It's a bit better. And have you never seen Rob play his home turf game, Gyro? No, I can't say I've seen him play Gyro either. I know of the game Gyro, but I never really look it up very much, just because I don't see a reason to, in this day and age at least. If anything, it's a very cool collector's piece when you can see it, but I think if you're trying to just buy it nowadays, you're kind of just asking to drain your RRSP or something along those lines, or at least a physical working copy of it. This poor old Rob boy does not hold up well under the test of time, unfortunately, as nice as that would be. Oh, fish. I know what Gyro is, I just don't actively look up play of it. It's nothing exciting. Like, it was fantastic for, like, the launch of the NES, but we've come very, very far past that. No. And, please. I just need to draw a curve. Let me do that. I should just go up more. There we go. That would be a bit better if I could do basically that, actually. Hold on. Just connect to it, Jude. You can do that. There we go. Bit better. Or is gaming outlawed in your horrible future? No, gaming is not outlawed in the horrible future, Fish. You've seen me play video games before. They're not outlawed. And what correlation would that actually have? It's just that Rob is an old man playing with his functional jacks. That's nothing mind-blowing in this day and age. Like, it's cool for 30-year-old technology, but all it is just kind of footnote in history on where things started and how far we've come. And props the cool uncle. Rob is not the cool uncle just because he plays with his jacks. Yeah. He is a pretty cool guy. That's all he's got on him, though. He's just a cool guy. Um, I actually got that to link up relatively well. Okay. I'll take that. Saying so. I'm sorry, Fish. Just not all your cool uncles out there are going to stand the test of time. They're eventually going to fall off their incredibly cool rockers, and their call-ins from Daddy Nintendo are not going to carry them very far. That's not even at all. Also, Yuzo, hopefully speaking, your stomach can actually settle relatively soon. I know it's never a good thing when you're kind of just having to forego meals just because your body is kind of telling you no, but hopefully that passes within a relatively quick period of time. And hopefully speaking, it's not just some form of intolerance that's kind of keeping your stomach down, because that's never fun. I think that'll work. Get up and cook. You're gonna fall off as well in like 100 years. Yeah, I mean, there's something called death, so that's gonna happen. That Nintendo fell off? Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to every company, it's not gonna stay around in perfect condition forever. Nintendo is still holding on to its market, but like that's what it's aiming for. So it's not like it's going to be the bombast of or the paragon of gaming as it was back in the past. You're a robot, so you're just going to rest. Yeah, that's what death is. Death is when your body stops moving and things don't function anymore. The definition itself does not change between species, just the events that cause it are. And I love onion-like sleeves, really setting the layers. That's mostly just in order to play up the fact that there are tools within my hands, so I figured having like some kind of socket wrench built into the doll would make some sense. Dude. There are technically socket wrench bits within my arms, but I can't really show that off very well with the limited scope of VTuber assets yet. Not unless I either get someone else to do it or learn a lot of fucked up shit in Blender. Oh, up here. There we go. Oh, 1 second. Got a crack. Ow. There we go. Oh wait, no, that doesn't have to go that far. And I feel like Nintendo could do better if it understood what the internet was. That's admittedly the truth. Nintendo's always been fairly bad when it comes down to just utilizing the internet to what's available to it. One of these days, maybe they'll actually figure it out, but for now, no, they're kind of stuck in a rut in that regard. It'll be cool if they do, though. I'm sure, like, the Smash communities would appreciate if they didn't have to think about how good and or bad their connectivity to the internet would be when thinking about whether they'd want to actually main it or not. There we go. What happened if you used your torch in your pocket? Probably the same things that would happen if you used a flammable source on a flammable object. Nothing good, I can assure you. Let's see. And I've been eyeing Blender this last couple of weeks, just been watching anime style character modeling, and it looks like fun. Blender in and of itself is a good tool. If you think about conceptually how Blender itself is functionally like buying clay at the store, there's a lot you can do with Blender, but you kind of just need to know how it works to get the best utilization out of it. And that's really the only thing that's holding Blender back is the fact that the skill ceiling is immense. There we go. And I should realistically just... Oh, too big. There we go. And I bet Jude's eyeing out that toaster oven in the bar. Not sure what you're talking about, but no. Maybe heard of SFM, The Work of the Devil? Yeah, I'm pretty sure most people know what Source Filmmaker is nowadays. It's not the easiest thing to use, but it is an option if you so dare choose to use it. No. Go to here. This is supposed to be the faux zipper connector, so I'm just going to cheat a little bit here. Because this part does not need to be... Doesn't need to be super curvy. Oh, actually, this is also supposed to go up here, technically. There we go. Welcome in, Omega. Hopefully the evening is running well. Look at the AI art in progress. Yeah, that good old handy AI art project that I've been setting up called My Hand is Breaking. I'm sure it'll just go over super well with investors. And I'm sure the name won't need any like additional changes or anything like that. I'm just gonna get rid of this line first, make this a bit easier. Then puffy section here. Please. There's our two little fasteners we gotta worry about. And the robot, drone the robot. When they can self-replicate, we're all doomed. I mean, yes. Yes, you are, Omega. Yes, you are. Yeah, the guys that know how to make it look like it's a walk in the park, but when I open that thing, I have to face the default cube, and I'm like, yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, the default cube is just kind of there to intimidate you for starting any kind of project. I believe there is a tutorial on YouTube that I would recommend, which is the guy who's doing the donut tutorial. So if you look up Blender donut, you might be able to figure out what I'm talking about, because I don't have it like memorized, but that tutorial does seem to kind of put Blender in, for lack of a better term, a good box, just so that way you can actually like figure out what you're doing on a basic stage first before going into a bunch of advanced topics. Then you get to model a fairly cool donut at the end of it, so I mean, tends to help out the experience just a wee bit. Blender Guru, that's it, thank you. Yeah, Blender Guru is the one that I would at least recommend to look through, because I started with that and then I lost track of time and forgot about it, so I kind of need to just go through it again in full so I can understand what's actually going on. It's easier to just bake a donut. It honestly is just easier to bake a donut at this rate, isn't it? But you've got a learning process to get through, so no harm, no foul. There's always the joke about that tutorial, it's legendary. It honestly is. It's been around for just ages now, so it's kind of hard to see people learning without it at this rate. Oh, there you go. Zipper doesn't need to be super detailed. Okay, that'll be the jacket, which should have kind of puffs of its own, realistically. But I feel like I should put that on a separate layer than this, which I'm proposing to be... Oops. About here? And then you would get the puff in? There we go. Nobody goes into 3D art for the purposes of modeling 5-star cordon bleu. Not everyone, at least, no, but there are people out there who probably want to get their hands on figuring out how to model food for any kind of game that they'd want to mod. Because, I mean, realistically speaking, how many people would need to mod food for, not Minecraft, for Skyrim or any of the Elder Scrolls or Bethesda games? Just so that way they can actually fit within the universe and make some semblance of sense. Oops. Instead of just, oh hey, I found this lovely looking food off of the Unity store. This will go absolutely perfectly in the project I'm working on. Said nobody ever. Let's see. So I could make that thicker. Here. Bit of a line collision there, but not too much we can do about it. Then we'll get rid of that. Bump that up slightly. Should do that. No. Much better. And for better or worse, there's way more foot fetishes in 3D than food fetishes. I feel like food fetishists is probably not phrasing that you're going to get away with super often when it comes down to, or at least when it comes down to everybody's workflows, but technically speaking, yeah, there would be more people worrying about feet than there are people worrying about food. If only because they've at least learned the Reddit kill of they don't necessarily want sex in front of their salad, so why even bother modeling the salad in the first place? Radio actually has a surprisingly good variety of a jam to it. And at least when folks are talking about the rawest of meat when it comes to those videos, it's probably not the steak on the barbecue. Also, all the facial lines and stuff are just going to stay on separate layers to make my life a hell of a lot easier. Whoops, wrong side. It'll be easier to select the face like that instead of having to worry about like all of these cross-directional lines that would be closing everything off, just to explain that to anyone who may not necessarily know why I'm doing that. Which is also going to include these squares because they're functionally not going to have heavy lining to them. They'll be like near identical to the lining or the colors that I'm going to be putting on the squares, but it's good to at least have them done out and available just in case anything needs to change. Although realistically, if I'm going to make this process easier for myself, for the things that need to be filled in, I should actually be filling in the squares. So cheat a little bit and do that. But I guess that does kind of raise the question for folks. Do you prefer seeing 3D animated, just general works? I'm not going to actively talk about porn on Twitch, but do you prefer seeing 3D animated works or 2D animated works? Just because I know there's at least a good rhetoric for both sides nowadays. But I don't get to hear that option very often from people, so good to at least hear what people think of the 3D animated stuff. Actually, no, that is right. That's just going down too far. Much better. Never mind, I don't know why I missed that. There we go. Honestly, there's so much 3D presented as 2D that's almost hard to find a difference. Yeah, I guess that's true, isn't it? With things like Beastar existing, and things like what Arc System Works does. Yeah, a few years ago, I'd say 2D was always the better look for pre-recorded mats. And yeah, ArcSys. ArcSys has their hands in a lot nowadays, and I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but I've always liked their games, so I'm just going to assume it's good for now. Oh, follow the curve, you joker. Here's the radio. Gonna say, you're taking a second there. If it hasn't happened already, all major animations are just going to be sourced from 3D mats, and it's just such a better workflow, and the assets are so much more reusable. And you're not wrong. And if it looks like a 2D drawing anyway, pretty much, why not? Yeah, there's a bit of a doomer scenario thought in there, Omega, but you're not exactly wrong in that respect. Because I know at least when it comes to 2D animation or just 2D art in general, I believe Sokko's been using the technique a bit, which admittedly would help me as well once I can figure it out. But if you use a three-dimensional model just built within CSP to pose, and then you basically just trace over the form of that, or at least have that as an easy enough reference point beside you, so that way you can just draw it out that way. Like 3D has a lot of good applications for 2D work in general, but we are going to hit a point eventually where the Doomer scenario pops up of 3D kind of just aping all hand-drawn animation techniques, if only for efficiency's sake. It isn't a great thought, but it's probably going to happen. Now for 2D stills, I'm still going to be really long until 3D sources take over. Yeah. 2D art is still very good. There is some benefit to using 3D for your 2D, but I think that's a heavier topic that I don't necessarily have a torch in. No, just follow inside there. There we go. And it's a good tool for concept work. It is. It's a very helpful tool when it comes down to concept work. Because you can kind of just fiddle around with 3D until you make it look like what you're actually wanting. And then just kind of get it moving from there. You don't have to worry too deeply about what it's trying to accomplish, aside from making your scene work within what you actually have pre-planned. Which I find is a relatively good thing, at least. Should help people out at the very least. There. But if you hit pause on Guilty Gear, it's usually not as good as someone actually drew it and polished it by hand. Yeah, that is a little true. ArcSys does kind of need to work on their smear framing a little bit, but when they're using the methods that they are, you don't necessarily worry about smear framing as much. At least not yet. And just follow the track that you've already laid out for this horse. Here. That's a bit better. There. Where that really gets useful is when you take a scene from a 3D source and just use that for the layout. Takes all the bullshit busy work out of the perspective. That is true. Because when it comes down to it, I feel like part of animation is just trying to work smarter and not harder kind of rhetoric. Which some places you can get away with that, but some places do just appreciate the dedication and hard work that comes into the stock standard 2D styles of animation. Not sure if the Ghibli situation has changed too much with the constant retirement of one man who thinks anime is pain, but I know with their stuff, they obviously have to use at least a little bit of a fusion, if only because of the fact that it would make their films impossible to do within a relatively easy time frame if they didn't utilize some of it nowadays. Because could you imagine someone trying to make something like Grave of the Fireflies nowadays, and how long it would actually take them if they were just doing 2D animation work and they didn't have like a gigantic studio helping them out? I'll just go down from this. That's a bit better. Also, as a side thought, have people here actually watched Grave of the Fireflies? Are you alright with that level of depression in your anime movies? I think this one is the one that's going to be going down super far, so... This one will get a little bit of a boost. You've never even heard of Grave of the Fireflies, Omega. Oh no. What are you doing with your life aside from being happy? Under a rock. Honestly, fair. Grave of the Fireflies is one of the earlier Ghibli animations that they did, which kind of focused on a story more built around the World War than, the fluffy tales of being kidnapped by a raccoon. But that was a depressing animation. I recommend people to watch it, if only because it's actually a good interpretation of what they want, but it is very much a depressing thing. Okay, I'm doing this right. Because the easiest way of summing up Grave of Fireflies would be that there are two children who are orphaned from the war trying to survive during the war. There isn't really much magic to it compared to something like Spirited Away. It is just children trying to live in Japan. There we go. It'll just all be on the wrong layer. Good work, numbnut. How much of this do I need to cut out? Oh, I can get these out of the way first. Merge down. Okay. And then these two can just be manually gotten rid of, and I'll just redraw those. Because that was a whoopsie. Little bit of a swoop in. I can at least say, with my time growing up on the internet, Ghibli stuff is something that will kind of stick out to you fairly well in terms of things to take inspiration from. And depending on where you ended up starting with Studio Ghibli stuff, may kind of make you lean in certain directions when it comes to topics. Grave of the Fireflies isn't really the first thing I ever watched, just because the main Ghibli movie that I care about at the very least is either Princess Mononoke or Nausicaa. Oops. So still darker takes, but not necessarily as dark as Grave of the Fireflies. Right? That should be fine. Ooh. But it is something that I still generally recommend in terms of watching, if you ever get the opportunity at least. It's just kind of nice. And I think we'll do something similar on this side that we did with Solace's weapon, and then just draw the rest of the arm under it anyways. Okay, I'm aware of some of those names. All I need is anime feature-length titles. Yeah, those are all just movies that Ghibli put together. Um, are those 80s though, or early 90s? Good question. Might be late 80s, early 90s. Let's just do a quick double check here. Princess Mononoke. Oh, late 90s actually, at least in terms of the Canadian release of it. And it is on Netflix, oddly. Okay, good to know. But Mononoke would be a 97 release. I'm pretty sure Nausicaa's, at least anime movie, is a bit earlier. Thank you, Google, for actually giving me the umlaut without too much problem. Okay, yeah. The Nausicaa one is late 80s, but I know that the manga for that one has a lot more content than the actual movie does. So if you've watched Nausicaa and you're wondering if you've missed anything, the answer is a resounding yes. Although, at least when it comes down to Nausicaa, that one's mostly just because there's a lot of extra background details that, while cool, were not necessary to tell the story in the long haul. There we go. I remember something about the giant bugs, and that's about it. Yeah, the giant bugs are definitely a thing that you'd need to worry about with Nausicaa. Because if they ever decided to bring those back in another story, then Jesus, they're gonna have to do a little bit of warfare fun time to actually make it work. About here. Then there would be the circle that would be within here. We're not going to get done in full, but it's at least here. Oh, here. Okay. Gives him a socket on that side, which is good. Now while we're here, there. Now, how do I want to handle coloring this? Yep. Yeah, thankfully my axe doesn't have a tremendous amount of detail, so it won't be super rough getting it in here, but it will just require a little bit of patience when we're getting this over top of the rest of the body. There we go. Then a nice little curve like this. A little lower. There we go. And I guess thinking on it, I haven't really watched many movies lately. I know I keep mentioning that I don't really give myself much time for too many extracurricular activities outside of maybe video gaming. Oh. And the streaming, technically. My neck is in shambles today. Yeah. Apologies if you can hear any of those, by the way. But I haven't really given myself time to watch too many movies. I do technically have access to Netflix. Do have access to Netflix, but I always feel a little bit bad since it's an American buddy's Netflix. And the level of worry from sharing a Netflix account across borders doesn't make me feel like it's a good idea. There we go. Let's see. Damn, I played so much Soku today. I haven't seen a movie I could pay attention to in a year. Oh boy, that's not really a good sign then if there's not any that have been able to keep your attention that long, Omega. Because I know there are at least a handful out there nowadays that would be good to watch. Definitely a bit harder to get into it though. That actually just about worked. Mm. That actually works. Okay. And you've been meaning to watch Doctor House. Now, the show's name should just be House, if I recall right, but is there another one that I'm missing out on? Because I remember a snarky British doctor who was just kind of an American hospital trying to tell people how to do their jobs, and was right most of the time, but tended to piss off his compatriots because they overlooked some really weird factoid that they never would normally need to think about. Now you alright? The show's House? Okay. Now at least remember that one. Because I like that one. House is a snarky bastard in a good way. So that is definitely recommended for pretty much anyone who's into a little bit of medical drama. I was on a few Discord watch parties, but they were during work hours, so it doesn't count. That's fair, Omega. I hear all the good things about House, and I should know because I have the OG seasons 1 and 2. Yeah, I would assume that you at least have a relatively good recollection of base House. He's Is that something that would actually be on Netflix, or are you just rewatching the DVD/Blu-ray releases of it that you have? Let's see here. No, shouldn't be that far. There we go. That cleans that up a bit. This part. No, I should do that up close. Oh. Just so that way I can keep the line relatively tight to it. There. There. That actually connected up to it too. Okay, I'll take that. Welcome in, Nano. I'll check your message in a moment. Hey, does anyone happen to get ideas or inspiration from classical or released art outside of anime? Oh, yeah, of course. At least when it comes down to it, you can look at things like Picasso's work and wonder about the stable state of your own mind, or you could just try and look for more modern art like graffiti and such to get inspiration for the chaos that exists within the world and how you can actually exploit that to get your message across. And I never say no to good old comfy art. Welcome in, Nano. Hopefully the evening's turning well on your side so far. Yeah, we're just getting some good old comfy arting done at the moment, but how are things on your side? Ooh, excuse me. There we go. Okay, I mentioned that to someone today and realized that I might be a weirdo. No, you're not a weirdo. Just the current generation is very heavily brought up on anime, like in terms of the millennials and Gen Z. So you're gonna find more often than not people have more relations to either anime or anime-like shows like Avatar, The Last Airbender, or Steven Universe, technically. Just because the themes that exist within those shows do tend to permeate a little bit in terms of Japanese animation too. And then you as the axe murderer and got more progress in the cult, just posted the whip actually. Oh, okay. I'll just take a look at that then. The Axe of Peace is getting graphical rework. I mean, yeah, the Axe of Peace is getting a slight work into just the doll. Like, it is just the one that's supposed to be there on the starting screen. I'm just trying to chibi-fy a little bit, just that way it fits within the context of the doll sizing is all. Also, heads up to anyone who's never actually noticed that on the just chatting screen. There is an axe that is technically a part of the toolkit. It's just not something that I can like bring alongside me since I can't really fit that in my body anywhere. Not without making it a weird folding contraption that doesn't necessarily work out the greatest. The axe has more texture than you, Jude. That's not true. The axe only has like 3 pieces to it, which is just black rubber, blue texturized rubber, and then metal. Um, there we go. That's good. I know this is supposed to be a shaky line, but not that shaky. That's alright. Double polygon. We need an axe swinging Jude bonk emote. I'm not sure if you would call an axe swing as a bonk exactly, Omega. An axe swing is more of a kill command than a bonk command. Instead of bonk, I'd just be chopping people to pieces. I mean, yeah, I would never do that, right? Why would I ever try and cut people up into pieces and store them in my freezer for later? That'd be weird. Ouch. That should work for the lines on that, though. There and there. Dude. And I guess I just bonk harder than most people. I mean, maybe. You just gotta be a little careful about that, Omega. Not everyone can handle the strong bonks. As nice as it would be if everyone could actively handle the strong bonks, but not in this day and age, sadly. It does actually work, though. Then this piece can come down. Then the jeans. Are a little baggy technically, so we can get away with a little bit of shimmy in this line. There we go. I appreciate the simplified version of the shirt. Yeah, the shirt itself isn't like super complex anymore, but I still gotta at least get some of the cubism in there. Morning in bit. Hopefully the evening's running well on your side, and welcome to the lands of tomorrow, where we're just kind of being a slight narcissist and drawing ourselves. But how are things on your side so far, bud? Like mom said, always bonk others the way you'd like to be bonked. Now, Omega. You gotta be careful about that self-depreciation talk in this chat. Oh, that is right. The boots are supposed to be big. Here. Get that to there. And the boots themselves will take over, which is about normal. Extra lines can go here. Just because these are more separators than anything else. There we go. Pretty meh, but work's done, so better. Hey, I mean, that's always a good thing. Having to work on a Saturday must suck the biggest donkey dick you could, but at least you're done with it. So that's at least handy. Yeah, I get really upset when they don't bonk back. Apparently you do, Omega. I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful about that. Just making sure I actually get the pocket in. Which you guys don't get to see very often just because it's kind of hidden behind, the border of the stream. But there is a side pocket on my jeans that just kind of exists because that's on most of the pants that I currently wear, at least. I'm pretty sure mom's rule doesn't apply to the misses like Jude. Yeah. I'm glad it's not my actual drawing shoulder, but most of my joints have just been really off center today. I'm going to assume it's just because of the abundance of rain for no good reason. There's a lot more moisture around. And I guess I don't really have all the right oils to actually keep myself stabilized. I'll have to work on that. Probably other ways I can get past that too. WD-40 for the rust. Thank you, Mega. Can't say I got any WD-40 right now, but I'll have to pick some up when I go shopping. Let's see here. So probably should start with the overabundance of the detailing on boots. So let's see here. This is the right brush size. Gotta do this, don't I? Because these boots are meant to be fairly chunky. Nope, too much. And I don't recall if I said it, so I apologize on this, but welcome in, Nick. Hopefully the evening's actually running all right on your side. Did not mean to leave you out of the introductory remarkage. Nope, too heavy. Need to do the tighter turns shorter. Okay. Then that at least connects us to the top of the shoe. I also don't know why, but whenever I listen to just a significant amount of chiptune stuff, I do tend to think back to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And I think that just hits the nice little nostalgia factor in my hard drive, at least. Because, God, I played that game a lot. More than I realistically should have when I was just a small little toaster, but if Doom can run on anything, realistically, Sonic 2 should also be able to run on most things. Because the Genesis was not as powerful as they necessarily wanted you to believe it was. Come on, dude, you're just following the line. Thank you, Bit, for the extra coolant. Thankfully, playing Sonic 2 early did not necessarily give me a super high level of thirst when it came down to Sonic OCs. Boy, I know about them existing. I know there's at least 30 ones that are named Jude, but thankfully not something I need to worry about. Let's see here. Now we just need to get the actual layer of the soul. I've been pretty lucky in Nikki recently, having 4 SSRs. Okay. That's definitely not too bad, then. And if your luck can actually stay that way forever, so that you're always drawing SSRs, Nano, there's a level of luck that you gotta realize is non-existent when it comes down to any sort of gacha game. You're gonna have to take an L eventually. As Solace has found out, as I've found out, and how Kuma has found out when it comes down to things like Arknights. There's just a certain level of scuff you need to work with when it comes down to gacha, and you just gotta get used to it, unfortunately. There we go. Arknights is a very generous one compared to most games. It is, but it's still not perfect. As much as I would like it to be. I'll just give the subtlest hint of a cough over to the Gnosis and Aurora banner that basically required me to pull 4 copies of the 6-star to get the 5-star. There we go. Does Arknights have pity? Yeah, Arknights has pity. There's nothing super shady about Arknights at the very least. And I took the Gallon in Genshin Impact. Oh, don't worry, but Solace and I have also taken the L when it comes down to Genshin Impact. There's a reason neither of us play it anymore, to be honest. Let's see. Nikki, I burned over 600 rolls without getting the banner unit. Eesh. Yeah, that's certainly not a good sign. I've heard about Nikki, but I haven't really dove into it or anything along those lines, so I'm a little bit exempt when it comes down to the nastiness when it comes down to that one. Do at least have it installed, but this was kind of one of those things I never bothered to play because I've already got enough gacha systems to roll on. then Nikki, I think, is really generous. They had Chainsaw Man crossover, and I got the banner characters back to back, like every 20 to 30 pulls I got them. I think you were just lucky on that one, though. I haven't heard anyone having like very good luck at all when it comes to Nikki in general, and I haven't heard like anything about the Chainsaw Man banners. No, too deep. A little further down. There we go. I went 627 rolls without getting Makima. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I got a 3-star of her, and sadly missed out on getting power to 3. The trick was Nikki, you just gotta do it. The trick with Nikki is that you just need to pay off the dev team, I think. Not sure how many other options you realistically have when it comes down to it. There, whoops. No, click here, go down. Then here. And then here. No, and it has to be tied to that. Which would make me think that that's a little bit off, but... Oh. There we go. Oh, that was a Nike pun. Oh. Okay, I completely soared past that one. Salsa's luck seemed to have carried over to Minecraft with diamond mining. Admittedly, diamond mining in and of itself has just become infinitely harder in Minecraft lately. So it's not necessarily that his luck has carried over, it's just that the mechanics changed, and not in a way that's very player friendly. Let's put it nicely for now. Let's see here. Oh. Hmm. Also appears as though I'm going to get a wee bit loopy. I believe the neighbors are smoking pot. Won't get anything super major, but I might slur a little bit. I guess so, but Mousy and Tater can mine for 2 hours and get a stack or more of diamonds. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain on why Mousy's luck is just greater. I know that whenever she's playing Minecraft, she's usually just pushing everything to the extreme, but I'm not sure if that should realistically apply to the mining luck either. I don't know, we'd have to kind of dig into Mousy's brain a bit just to see if she's mentally hacking into the game or not, but that's something for a much different time. There we go. Maybe diamonds spawn less in your villages. She mines the same way I do. Oh, Mousy. You never fail to confuse us. Here. Here. Probably not that far down. Here. There we go. And if that's so, she will notice a few go missing. Yeah, Mousy has a relatively good mental record of what she actually keeps within her chest area and such. It's kind of why she kind of notices most when the one hacker kind of just came into her server and burned stuff down. So she knew exactly like what armor she was missing and such. Here. Here. These boots are also very much designed to not slip on ice. So I hope all of these extra lines just kind of help with getting this point across. Oops. Oops. There we go. Also, I think I'm going to switch up my mining method to TNT. Gonna make TNT farm first, though. Guess it depends on what you mean by TNT, Nano. It's not always the most helpful method of mining, because that'll still blow up, like, diamonds and redstone and stuff, too, and not necessarily drop the items. You gotta be a wee bit careful about that. Here. Oh, that's a paragraph. TNT was changed a few years ago to 100% drop rate. Problem is, the second explosion will destroy all entities in the blast. So you just need to collect drops before bombing again. Oh, okay. Never mind then. I'm just an ancient little history book that's too dusty to play Minecraft the more efficient way nowadays. There we go. Then one other arch right here, if I can get that. Nope. There we go. These boots are gonna be hell. But ideas there. Obsidian does at least have the full resistance? Okay. I guess I'll have to keep an eye out on that then. And admittedly, when it comes to our server currently, a TNT farm isn't necessarily a bad thing to make work. If only because I don't think anyone has a mob farm up yet to make good use of it. There would be some pant leg at the bottom of this boot. Then the boot itself. I'm good on obsidian. It's just that I need to explore more underground to find the dripstone cave in a short amount of time. And then digging with iron is faster to tunnel than just bombing. It is, admittedly. And we do at least have an excess of iron thanks to Ezo, and I believe someone else also has an iron farm on hand. But we do primarily just raid Ezo to, constantly bug them about the fact that iron exists. Yeah, and if you're just kind of adventuring Nano, the best option is usually to just dig in a straight line. Oh, come on, brain, you can do it. Here. Much better. Ezo's complex has an iron farm? Yeah. And we appreciate Ezo for doing that for us. And this comes down. And then this part should realistically be a bit more thick here than it would be elsewhere. This is meant to be going more to the side. No, a little further out. Let's see, this would be going to about here. Up here. Maybe I'll ask Ezo for some iron. Building the project I'm planning does use up a lot of the iron pickaxes for relocating stuff. Ezo doesn't generally mind people just kind of taking iron from the farm, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind a little bit of extra chatter as well, so. Does it actually look right? Yes, currently it does. Okay. and to have the thickest part of the soul available. Oops. And here, and here, and here. Here. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Hi, Ezo. Thank you for toiling away on the iron farms. That way we can get stuff. Please. Nekun is not my friend today. I guess I'll get to just say fuck you, Rain, from now on. Huge. Rid of you. Then you. Then the circle boy. This line to indicate that the boot goes in, which gives it the verticality. Okay. Ooh, it is going to be awkward to actually shade and color in. That's okay. I feel like if I'm going to go through the effort of doing this level of detail on my own doll, then I should realistically try to do this level of detail on every single one, so... Oops. Too heavy. Here. We just do that. Clean it up again. Oh. Although, since we are able to at least keep the Minecraft stuff going, I think it'll be nice when all of us on Solace's server, at least, can get some time and kind of just chill out and maybe play a fun little mini game in there. It would require a little bit of setup, but I'm sure over time some of us will just build mini games and such that we can screw around with as well. Good. But that will probably be projects that come in time, because I'm not sure how many of us have the free time to both figure out what mini games we would want to build in there, or try to figure out exactly what we would want to have hold up in our areas. There we go. Box. And then another box. There. There. There we go. Thank you. So I'll trade in a stack of sugarcane for 10 stacks of iron. I mean, I guess it's a fair trade technically, if it wasn't for the fact that there was a sugarcane farm right beside that, but I did the same thing to Solace, got his lodestone for sugarcane. Well, there you go. You're getting the same deal as the Pixel God, Ezo. I hope that's applicable. No. This one would be coming straight down. Then you. Is this really an 8-bit version of one of Daft Punk songs? Okay. I mean, I'll take that, but I was wondering for half a second, it's like, what the fuck? I might not be the right one, but there's something about you I want to say. Yeah, I remember this one. The multiplying song? Not quite the multiplying song, no. I have sugarcane farm right beside the iron farm. It's fine, Ezo. Iron, I needed to fix that, didn't I? Get rid of this. Because you sloped at a really weird angle. There we go. Is that actually everything lined already? Except for like that one pant leg and the extra lines for the crotch? Okay. Good. Here. There. So what you're saying is Nano can take a stack from the farm and trade it to you for iron. I don't think there's quite that loophole in the economy, Solace. As nice as it would be to just take from one man twice, then there we go. And then you are a separate layer. There we go. Trade offer, you get sugarcane and iron, and I get iron and sugarcane. Hold out your two hands now, folks. That's how things are going to be working. Oh, I drew those. Did I draw the pant layer on the right part? I did. Cool, I am smart. I'd be happy if you just have redstone. Oh, that's another kind of failure of this system, isn't it? The fact that redstone is just such a pain in the ass to get nowadays. Oof. The fact that most people's redstone, at least if I'm remembering right, come from Saltus clerics, that's just kind of a good sign as to how much of a pain in the ass it's been able to get lately. Oh wait, no, that is a line layer. I don't want to screw that up. Do. And all of this also gets this. Let's see, I plan to convert them to block to decorate the tomb. Well, at least when it does come to redstone specifically, Nano, it is used in all of the like circuitry and automation processes that you can make in Minecraft. So that's more so what we would recommend it for, if possible, instead of necessarily using it just for decoration, but it is kind of on you. Here. There we go, isn't that beautiful coloring? I made zero mistakes, clearly. Expand. Invert. Yep. This doesn't need to be purple, but you. This does. There we go. I get everything I needed to paint that color. I think so. I kind of got lazy with the distributing of iron thing, but in my defense, people are doing some weird settlements. A little, yeah. That and also a lot of people just got rid of the trading chests, which means it's fine, it's their property now, but where do I leave my iron? Yeah, I probably should have cleaned out my trading chest a while ago, so that's definitely on me. But you do at least have some discretion in this case, Izo, so if there is anywhere you would want us to specifically leave iron room for you, then we can try that. Expand by 2. Can I make that lighter, actually, for a default? Okay. There. That's okay. We'll just get this one out of the way nice and early. Expand, dos. Let's see here. It's a good one to do next. Probably the black. Oh, that's a line I forgot, actually. Hold up. That should be fine. So you, and then technically you. Oops. Oh, it was redundant with my inbox. Fair. Solace is actually prepared for this kind of thing. I also left the zipper on its own layer, didn't I? Whoops. That line needs to be cleaned up. So here. Okay. We'll try that again. Here and here. Expand to you have an inbox, so I know where the box we're putting in stuff. That, and also you tend to just tell me, Ezo, can you get me some iron? That's not me. I always make the trip to your place, even if I have to deal with some random portal bullshit. Oh god, Ezo's portals. Ezo's portals are awkward, but that's just Minecraft in general nowadays. You really do not want to crack for me, do you? Okay. And you just make hoppers. Hoppers are a bit of an outgoing problem, aren't they? We still need them for, admittedly, way too much, but that is kind of just the curse and or benefit of them, so. Oh, I actually need to get that inner part too. There we go. And that. Okay. Gucci. May as well get this monstrosity out of the way, so that's not too much different, but I should make it obvious for the sake of the shading. There we go. And then if I set it up right, nope. Nasty little bastard. Okay. Expand by 2. I'm just going to put these on their own layer just to save me the headache later. And then... Alright, I should probably just do that one square now, just so I don't forget about it. That you get to be done manually, because I didn't do my job properly and close the line. There we go. Let's see, what next? Probably should do the purple puffy bits, shouldn't I? You, and you. And then the inside of the jacket is fine, and this little section is fine, because that's supposed to be a flap anyways. Let's see. That should work. The screenshots that are actually taken out of Vroi didn't, or out of the VMC player are not the grandest things in existence, unfortunately. This... There we go. Oh, whoops. Oh, the line for the shoe. Okay, whoops. I guess I need to close that as well. Because that should pretty much just close up right here-ish. There. Black, 8 strength. And also, yes, if it's not super obvious, a lot of these lines are going to get lost in the darker colors of my outfit. So don't worry too much about that. We'll fix that when we actually get to the proper line coloring stage, just so that way there's at least some pop there. And there. Then we need a brighter purple, because this is where our... This is where our tartan is, or our plaid is. I think tartan is maybe overshooting it a bit, but it'll be kind of a mix of purpley colors anyhow. Actually, enough so. I'll just do that and just keep it on its own layer, just so that later we can just do the plaiting properly, because that's going to be a hell of a problem if we mess it up. So zipper, button. Get to be nice and bright. Because zippers are cool, as is at least demonstrated by Final Fantasy XII, or Kingdom Hearts rather. Why did I say FF12? FF10 has Lulu, and Lulu at least has the belts. Let's see here. These just get to be pure black because they're supposed to be going inside anyways. Actually. Soft brush? There we go, that's a bit better. We do that up top. Then we grab small brush to do... Oops. There we go. Not too shabby. Also still trying to do my best to make sure those don't look like a flashlight, so hopefully I'm doing a good job with that. Go to there, and what color would we actually want the outside of that to be? Probably about the same as the zippers, to be honest with you. Also slightly forgot about the hairband. That's pretty much the same color as the eyes, so we do not want to mess with that too much. Also, I guess when it does come to various gaming stuff, since that is usually what we focus on at least, is there any games that people are excited for coming out in the near future? Because I know we at least have the slight community building around Diablo 4 with folks, but that's probably not something I'm going to bother getting into. But I know there's a lot more out there, so I'm willing to hear some ideas at least. Smaller. Get you in nice and manually. There is Rise of 3 that came out just this week, which I'm keeping an eye out for. We'll probably just wait for a sale on that one since we haven't touched 1 or 2. And I think it'd be a little bit better with an RPG the level of the Atelier series to probably give that the better shot of following its story instead of just kind of leaving it there to die. These ones I realistically could grab with the bucket tool, but it's good to just test your patience a little. Or I guess considering where most of us are sitting, would it be better to say that most of us are going to keep inclined on our Minecraft training a little bit? Because I know that most of us have a good amount of stuff to still work through in that regard. There we go. Why does that look so awful zoomed out? That's why that looks awful zoomed out. Okay, fixing that. Select expand to. Would rather you not be fuzzy on the lines where possible. Please and thank you. Oh, and I also didn't even bother doing that section. Okay. Good to know I'm paying attention. Expand this here. Alright then. So that leaves axe and pants. And shoes. Good. We want to get the axe out of the way just so that way we are following everything in stride. Exactly is this for? Oh, that line, right. Okay. Do grab that. And I think when we do finish coloring in the axe, I'll probably take my break because I'm realizing that I've been going for a couple hours already. So it's probably in my best interest to not take that too far. Here we go. You get your gray. Then you get your gray, and you'll get this gray. Now, what do we do with you? Here. Yeah, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Alright, I'll just have to trim that when I actually finish getting everything in. Okay. There we go. That's a bit better. Now what happened there? I did not actually draw the line down far enough. Interesting. Did I try that again, brain? Actually, no. No, that is the right spot for it. Never mind. There. There. And just bring that to connect to here. I just need you to connect to the blue. Okay. One of these days, I probably should do a proper model of the axe, because I think the only instances of it that we have right now are all just 2D drawings of such. I think I've tried it a few times now, but I'm just not super comfortable with the results that I've been getting. So maybe one of these days we can try and do that art journey and see if we can model a donut together. And then maybe once we figure out the donut, I can just figure out how to make a proper fire axe without too many problems. Not too bad. And we would want brighter white. go. Not too bad, I'd say. Alright, axe is good. Then we just gotta do the flats for everything else, and then I guess we can just start working on shading, which isn't too bad for at least the night progression. Oops. There you go. So I'm gonna take a quick break, mostly just because I'm in a slight bit of pain, but I'll be back in like 5-10 minutes or so. Make sure to take a break and grab a drink if you need it as well. And you can just enjoy the radio for now. Whoops. Wrong button. Oh well. Hello again. Hopefully everyone was able to get a little bit of a break in. Maybe not to your local hardware store at least, but able to at least rest a little. Oh, oops, I actually missed a section. Good. There we go. Thank you, Solus. Hopefully you're not too overwhelmed with the amount of streams on a Saturday night at the very least. Hmm. I feel like I can just get away with this here. Do. At the very least, it's nice to get some art and shenaniganry done while getting to listen to some fun music. Oot. Although the level of topics to bring up is always a little bit of a hard question, if only because of the fact that it's hard to tell exactly what folks would want to talk about right now. Oot. Get the pants while we're here. Because there is a good amount of gaming news that just kind of pops in and out depending on what sector you're actually working in. But there is also just the idea of where it's going to be messy, which is fair. There's also just the extended universe of art methodology and what you can actually work with nowadays. Obviously, since I just kind of work mostly on the 2D side, I don't have the widest range of advice to really give to anyone, or just widest discussion points that we could work through. Since the idea of what we learn in terms of people like Kin, Toto, Solace, Mia, Jason, and everyone else, I think we've got a few good repositories of information at the very least. But I want to make them brighter on the doll? Probably not, no. That I can always just be there as a happy medium point, since I know that the... Oh, I need to fix that too. Jason's the source of knowing what games are pain. Jason is a relatively good source, but he's playing a game, it's a painful game. Are you sure about that, though? Are you sure Jason is also just not a scrub? Because there is a limit to what we understand when it comes down to the cat maid playing video games. Get rid of that. No, he's a scrub, but he plays them despite always losing. Okay, so he's just a masochist then. Nothing entirely wrong with that. There we go. Like Tarkov? I don't think I've ever actually seen Jason playing Tarkov before. But Tarkov is definitely a lesson in patience and how much can you actually handle, so you're not exactly wrong. Pencil brush. There we go. He doesn't want us to see... Oh, he doesn't stream it? He doesn't want us to see him cry? Oh, okay. Jason's trying to be a sneaky little cat maid then, and not actually allow us the pleasure of seeing him in pain. Admittedly, if he wanted to, that was actually a better way for him to get viewers on the gaming stream, so I mean, it's kind of his loss, not gonna lie. Because I think you could technically still get some good viewership off of Tarkov, at least if I'm remembering right. There. But I guess there does kind of fall into an awkward position when it comes down to things like Tarkov, Fortnite. Is PUBG still a thing in this day and age? And then just a wider collection, whoops, of games just within that genre. I know I don't play them just because I'm very, very rusty at shooters, and I don't think anyone necessarily wants to see me like screw around too much in that design. I've been trying to do TF2 in my own time, but that is also something that's just in my own time. So I'm not sure if that's anything people want to see me suffer through. The bot problem is definitely a lot less now, which is handy. But it's not exactly everybody's cup of tea either. Here. PUBG is still a thing, but it's fallen off a cliff in terms of popularity. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I don't really hear people talk about PUBG too much, to be honest with you. And I remember it being a fairly large thing. But I guess just with the mass amount of things out there, and especially Fortnite, it's probably just lost touch in its community, I guess is the best way of putting it nicely. Since Fortnite wasn't even like PUBG before, but then it just kind of usurped the idea into the game. And I'd imagine at least took a relatively good chunk of the community away from there. There we go. Need to get those. Alright, I still need to fix lineage. Probably fix lines on the shoes first, or at least this shoe. Here. They did kind of screw things up by resizing it. Enough so actually that sharpening it may be a decent idea. Here. And at least when it does come to popular shooters nowadays, we're probably more thinking along things like, technically Resi 4 would be popular right now, but I'm not really considering single player shooters. The more popular shooters out there nowadays are obviously going to be Fortnite and I want to say Valorant and technically Overwatch too, if people are still actively playing that. Okay, that's better. But I'm not really in any communities that actively talk about those games very often, so I can't 100% say as to whether or not it would be a good thing to... Oh, wait. Filter sharpen? Good. That will make things easier. And at the very least, we're probably waiting on things like... Not Blue Archive. Blue Protocol that we're waiting on in terms of like the Tanuki community, right? Yeah. Overwatch, Valorant, and Apex are the big three in these communities. Okay. I can confirm that I have not touched any of them. Yeah, Blue Protocol is perpetually right around the corner. We're just going to be waiting on that one for a while, aren't we? Seeing how quickly we can make the Toto Guild in order to actually recruit new followers to the church. Right. We're going to have to see, though, because I'm assuming Blue Protocol will be at most of our alleys, so I think we're all going to at least try it a little bit. How many lines have I messed up on this? This. 10? Oh, I'm on transparency, that's why. I hate that transparency is a color option for that. There we go. Yeah, I'll do my best to keep up, but I already know what'll happen. Yeah. I think both of us are going to be in a relatively similar boat of just always being behind them, if only because of the fact that full-time work eats up enough of our time that it kind of becomes a problem to try and keep up with MMO logic. And as much as I would rather that not be true, I would also need something that actually pays me for, sleeping or something in order to actually keep up with the gaming habits nowadays. Oops. There we go. But sadly, professional sleeper isn't really going to be a full-time job unless we're able to find a way to transfer the energy that we save on sleeping to other people. Which I don't think we have available to us yet, as much as I hate to say it. There we go, that should be all of the souls. Oh, on that show. Imagine the level of dystopian world, though, if that was actually an option. Just having farms of people actively sleeping within a bunker, and then the rich people actively out and about with their lives in order to actually experience life to its fullest. That'd be an interesting way to actually write a story now I think about it. You could probably make some kind of a play off of Do Robots Dream of Electric Sheep in order to actually tell that story too if you wanted. Because if you're functionally trying to run simulations where people get energy, then I can't imagine it being too far out there to have something like that set up. I think that's everything. Mm. Yeah, they're Omega. I missed one. Thank you for the coolant. Cool. And do that. Then put those like so. Yay. Alright, now to actually clean up the... Oh, god damn it, I did miss one. Here. This is kind of one of those I wish my eyes were better scenarios, I'll be completely honest. But seeing all of the dotted lines is not a forte. That's looking good. Never mind. Expand to... Now do it. Why am I taking a break? Oh my god, I just took one. I mean, I can if you want, but... Fair eyes. A break is not going to help my eyes very much, Omega. That's just the state of my eyes. That's not a I am tired, therefore I cannot see. Dude. We're still good, though. Okay, cheeky bastard. Let's see. I do still need to refriend the take a break from yesterday, or the other day from Fox as well, anyhow, so. There we go. Let's find this then. Consider it a donation. It's of points, Omega. You're gonna have to save those up for some of the more important redeems that I definitely have on the channel, like murdering me mid-game or requesting a sketch. Although I realistically should try and put something that's a slightly higher tier, since I think people have a few more points than they're willing to admit. Oops. So Tensoku. You have at least 5 points. Okay. So Solace is definitely the big spender here. I'll have to make sure that we actually have something available for him in order to spend those lovely little 5 points on. Okay, why do you not accept my inputs, OBS? God damn it. I don't know why the key command for it's not working. I'm gonna assume something was being pressed. Good. Let's try this out for a little bit. I believe we were trying to work with Komi-ichi, weren't we? Why don't we try that out a bit more? Suika's good meme pick, but I think Komi-ichi is actually someone I should figure out. And Iku. Very much Iku. Oh, whoops. Didn't actually get to fight Marissa the last time, so I don't fully remember what I'm doing. Pop. And yeah, just some extra point stuff bit eventually, at least. Oh, damn. Oh. There we go. And when you finish the Jude doll, I want to see you dance with Iku on the mantle there. I mean, I can put the Jude doll on the mantle as well. That's definitely not a problem. Oh god. Nope. That wasn't good usage of that. Ah, damn it. Oh. Oh, no. Nope. Nope, I shouldn't have jumped into that. Ow. Ow. God damn it, Marissa. Ow. I know I picked hard, but like... Ow. I need something to spend my points on. I have a bit saved up. Well, the sketch is always there, but you kind of mentioned the last time that you were trying to figure out which character you actually wanted to get built in the first place. So, I guess that's something you could probably keep an eye out for. No. That's probably a better follow-up. Okay. Nope. Nope. See, this is a much better round. Why did I fail so badly last time? I'm thinking of like Robo Quailon would look like. Well, that is definitely an option. Oh. Just getting those set up is not necessarily a bad thing. Nope. Ow. Nope. When I'm pulling people in, I should not be trying to go for... There we go. Should not be trying to go for the nasty... Oh, Jesus. Nope. Ow. Thank you, iframes, for that. Nope. That isn't good. Alright. I just need to get a basic melee combo out on her so that I can avoid getting immediately rocked. Like that. Because that just eats all of your goddamn ammo. One day I'll have my original handmade Jude doll. I mean, if I ever figure out how to actively craft these dolls, then that would at least be an interesting way of figuring out what you need to do. Whoops, in order to like sell them at a much higher rate than what I plan on giving the 2D digital ones drawn out for, but... Oh. Nope. Alright. That's more a utility move, I'm realizing, so I gotta actually take that into account. Nope. There we go. Jude Fumo. A Jude Fumo would at least be interesting. So there is that. Pop. You can stay in my gravity well, Sane. I'm sure this is fine for you. Oh, no, I meant to dodge. Sorry, Sane. Nope. That was a bad call on anti-air. There we go. That's a bit better. Jude Fumo with an axe. Hey, I mean, I do have the axe, so it would prove as a valid accessory. So there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, damn. Nope. Oh, whoop. Sane's actually getting the better of me there. There we go. There we go. There's our double down knocked out. Ah, no, that pull forward is not going to help very much. Up. There we go. There's the big ol' hit. Nope. Did I really air dash into her frog hop? You little bastard. There we go. Overkill. Gotta love it. Okay, so that one... Oh, this could be bad. So, how is Reimu going to act on hard mode, I wonder? Oh. Do. Nope. Nope. Gotta be careful about where I'm getting all my hits in, otherwise I'm going to get immediately rocked by Reimu's movement options. Nope. 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 And there is admittedly a lot of the stuff I need to figure out with the souls that Komeiichi has, just in order to actually get good use out of her other ranged options. Because right now we're definitely flubbing it a little bit. Nope. Oh. There's our big swing. Oh god. There we go. Gonna have to ask you to stop. There we go. Bit better. How's beating up LA going for you, Jude? So far it's alright. I mean, I'm still obviously a bit of a noob when it comes to fighting game stuff, but I mean, I figured it out in time. Also, F. I guess that's technically my better one to get out with. There we go. Okay, noted. Nope. Also nope. Also nope. Jesus Christ, Reno. You can't screw me up that much just with the ability to hop. And really, that does not do enough to kill. That is a 5 card. Why does that not do like 30% damage on its own? Ugh. Maybe he downloaded all their moves? I'm not sure if I downloaded all of their moves. Like, I've been trying to figure out and memorize like what each character can do just for the awkwardness of how everybody works, but... Oh, damn. Oh, no, there's her boot. Gotta be real careful with Alice's boot. There we go. But is this game good? Yeah, this game is good. It feels old, but like that's all it's really got wrong with it. Nope. That boot just has a super quick active window to it. There we go. Nope. I gotta remember that down is bad. There we go. Ah. That would have been a nice way to get an aerial hit in. There we go. Hey, the K. Welcome in. Hopefully the evening's treating you alright so far. We're just taking a slight arc break in order to see how I handle the hard bots at the moment. But how are things on your side so far? I guess we'll just get that out now. There we go. Just get the nice little love tap out. Roboju, you playing D4? Or we are playing D4 and it's going well? Okay. Well, good to hear that you're at least having a slightly bit of an easier time with it, considering what happened yesterday. Damn, that should have super armor at least. Good. But hopefully you and Air aren't having too many complications actually getting into that. And welcome in, Pink. Hopefully the evening's running well on your side. There we go. Like mentioned, we're just fighting stuff at the moment, but how are things going on your side? Nope. No. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. Damn it, that boot. Alice, I do not like your boots. If I wanted to shop at Winners, I would shop at Winners. There we go. It's got its ups and downs, but B-Day's gone okay, I guess. Well, happy birthday at the very least. I can't provide too much since I'm obviously just in another continent, but... Oh! That does have air tech. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, there we go. Oh, nope. Those angry puppets. There we go. We take those wins. Instant pop out of a skill is very helpful when it comes down to it. Oh. And I believe you had at least mentioned on your side, Kay, what you were playing in regards to Diablo 4 the Sorceress. Or Witch? I think I kind of forget the name. But what did Aaron end up playing? No. No. Okay, I do have a launch down. Noted. No. Oh. Not quite working. Nope. Does not fall into that point immediately. Nope. Okay, you dodging everything. Nice. No. You're not allowed to use your butterfly, Yuko. Nope. That was bad timing for that. That is fine. Oh, no, she's still... Oh, hers home? Really? Okay, Yuko. Bad. No homing butterflies. That is incredibly rude. Oh, I can do that down. Okay. There we go. Really? Hers came out first. Okay. There we go. Is that our down? That is our double down. Okay. We take those because the teleport has its uses, but we need more combat uses. Wrong one. That's fine. Nope. We will just get rid of you. Let's see here. There we go. We'll take that out. Oh, I think you're missing one there, Omega. You sure your sub didn't run out? Oh, jeez. Alright, well, I guess we may as well figure out how much we get our butts kicked by Raishin on hard. Ow.
start that in the air. Damn it. First comes out faster. And I really need to find better ways of, whoops, connecting all of that together. Please don't make me lose round one with her. Damn it. Pop? Of course that doesn't do enough damage to justify it. Yeah, of course. Silly soul mechanics. Up. Nope. First shots come up faster than my melees do. There we go. We'll take that. Now we've got our double down to screw with her. And then that to range her when we need it. There we go. Oh boy. Oh, okay, that's a new one. I don't think I've ever actually seen her get an anti-air out like that. Ow. There we go. God, I hate fighting Arshan. She's just unnecessarily quick. Oh. Nope. Do not give her openings where you can. There we go. Nope. Nope. We take those. And I can't exactly punish her with the double down all the time, which is something I'm gonna have to work on a little bit. There we go. F the overpowered rabbit. I'm big girl and I have a scythe. Oh hey, the other ranged character this goes terribly against. Ow. Yeah, dodging into that is great. Really? Her basic shot takes out my forward shot? Pop. Gonna have to say no to that, truly. And I guess that doesn't combo into itself, so that's at least good to know. Nope. That works. Her projectiles are nightmarish. They honestly are. It's why you have to be very careful when even fighting her, because she can shoot just every goddamn direction. But if you can dodge them and get in, then that's kind of good, at least for Komiichi's side of things. Ow. Granted, this is also just ifs upon ifs, so... Gonna have to say no to that one, Patchouli. I appreciate having other characters in games that actually have asthma, but... Oops. Kinda gonna have to ask you to not do that. She also does like to hop a lot, so it's kind of hard to not just catch her in the air immediately. No, okay. I wasn't sure if we'd be able to... Oh god, that was bad. Oh boy. Nope. There we go. That's not too bad. Only losing 50% against the hard bottom Patchouli isn't awful. Oh hey, we don't get to see you very often. Which means I don't know how to play you I don't know how to play against you very well. If only because the bot never actually picks you. Come on, need you to block, Coma. And that goes through, huh? Oh god. Come on, let me get in on you, Yukari. You're not that bad. You're just awkward because no one ever actually picks you. Or at least no one that I know of actively picks you. Nope. That needs a bit more range to it. Noted. Nope. 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 Monsoon. Bounce off the ground. Oh, okay. Nope. Gonna have to ask you to stop, Missy. I get that you're one of the most powerful people in Gensokyo, but no? Okay, yeah, we are on that. Noted. Oh, you can hit her out of that. Okay. Not what I was actually expecting. Nope. Ow. Please let me touch the floor. There we go. Yukari is tricky. That is fine. She can obviously open holes in space and time, so that's going to be a problem no matter what you do. Alright, now the fun part, actually going in on Ibuki. Because that's where she wants you to be, is right beside her, so that way you can just be immediately destroyed. Nope. Oh. Nope. And at least when you're fighting the computer Ibukis, you can figure out what the hell you're supposed to do with her. Nope. Don't get hit by her basics. Or that. We kind of figured out the actual benefits of Ibuki the last time too, so I'd rather not get my butt kicked by them this time. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I can double tap the cards. Okay, noted. Twitchy fingers are not always going to be helpful. Nope. Now, can I get her in this? Just do a little bit. No. That's fine, that just burned another version of the card, and that's not that good of a card. Nope. Oh. So let's see. Oh, no. She dodged through that? Hmm. Ah, damn. I was wondering if she was going to pull out the punch eventually. Yeah. Hmm. Ah, Black Nugget. Okay. You smug little demon bastard. Of course you get one fireball off at the exact time you need it. There we go. Doop. I also gotta remember that this upwards, or this aerial down smash basically just hits behind her as well. Because that way you can just jump behind someone and still kind of sock them out with it. Ow. Nope. Hmm. Also, that it's got a bit of a range to it, so it's not good to be right up beside someone doing it. Nope. Up. There we go. Silly demon girl. Oh. Okay, well, I guess one round with Komichi. And we did it on hard, so... I guess that means I'm getting better. So I'm down for that. Maybe next time I'll actually have to try on the higher difficulty just to see if I can actually make it through. Lunatic next. We'll have to see about Lunatic, but I would like to work on the doll a little bit more if I can today. So let's just take... Dude, honestly, I don't see a lot of differences between them. Really? You'd think at least when it comes down to something like Lunatic difficulty, they should at least kind of turn up their AI a little bit harder. Did I get an extra sub on this? Ah, yeah, that's where that one came from. Okay. Not too bad. Alrighty, let's get back to at least adding our flats in here, and then we can start doing some shading. Maybe on the axe? Kinda have to test it and see. Dude. Maybe their interpretation of Lunatic was just to make them a little crazy. Crazy people not necessarily too hard to fight. Well, I would wonder if on Lunatic difficulty they actually try to, like, use the cards more. Because that's really the only difference I've seen with the CPU characters, is that they don't necessarily try to use their cards very often, which I don't mind, but it definitely seems a bit weird. No, they still hardly ever use them? Really? That's kind of sad, to be completely honest with you. Because that feels like something they should have learned by that point. And I guess, technically speaking, the bottom... God damn it. Why do I keep missing these? Maybe once around at the most. Ugh. Once around is definitely a little bit lacking, considering that's one of the key components of the system. Oh well, maybe one of these days. Oops. Here. Back of the shoe, top of the shoe. Okay. Yeah, that's good. There we go. And if you use them yourself, you're basically cheating. I guess that's why you had mentioned before that when you were trying it out and playing it, that you usually try to avoid using the cards where you can and only using people's base sets. Which isn't a bad thing, but when you come up against regular people, it kind of feels like you would need the better card knowledge just to actually have half a chance. Actually, no, that's fine. Good. We can just do that part a little manually. Yeah, you would need it if you played anyone, seriously. Yeah. But I guess that's just kind of what you're worrying about when you need to deal with real people, right? Make it a little bit brighter for now, and we'll just worry about texturing later. There. Just we're all clowns here. I mean, not every one of us means clown piece like you do, Omega. You do gotta keep that in mind at the very least. Go to color layer, select, expand. Make that a little bit brighter. Then grab this. Do the same thing here. Although I realistically should double check and maybe add in a little bit of Soku 2 time in there as well, just to see if any of the characters in Soku 2 actually interest me at all. Momiji kind of does, but not to a super high degree just yet. I'll kind of have to play that one by ear, just because I'm not 100% certain if I would want to figure her out over, like, Komaichi or Iku. Oops. I do not do anything along those lines. There we go. Alright, so is that all flat? Technically, I think that is all flat colors, actually. Because you've got the base, you've got the sleeves, the blues, and then the colors for the axe. Okay. Not too bad. How much time do we have left? Half an hour, roughly? Suppose we could get started on stuff. Folder, put you in there, make the folder a clipping layer. Select, expand to... Let's see here. How do we want to do these eyes? Maybe a bit of a darker orange as well. There we go. I will say though, with the Soku stuff, I do find it a little bit weird that I like the heavier characters in there, just because I don't normally play the super heavy characters when it comes to fighting games. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing that I'm finding the heavier characters in there more comfortable. Especially considering I usually play people like Taukaka and other fast characters in fighting games that I would usually play. Taukaka for sure from BlazBlue. There would be whoever the spear girl is in BlazBlue. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but she's at least fairly impactful. And fast. I've tried dabbling with Carl, but I can never confidently say that I would play Carl to a high degree. Unfortunately, just controlling two bodies on screen at once is a little too much for my tired ass brain. There we go. I usually main a bigger character and try keeping a fast rushdown character in the pocket for an occasional laugh. I guess then a comparison would be having something like Iku at the available, but having Vermilia available just as a side option would probably be what you would be going for then. There, make it a little smaller. Hmm. There. No, too much white. The white itself would be better. There. There we go. Yeah, Remy or even Suika. I mean, especially Suika, because if you want to screw with someone, she's a girl. You didn't invite your opponent to the party, you brought it to them and chucked it in their face. Oh boy. I mean, you're not wrong. Suika is helpful in that regard, but I do feel like if you have an option for a faster character, Suika isn't the easiest one to pick up and just kind of play, so I don't always recommend oops, that, at least, when it comes down to it. Let's see here. Where's the thing that I use usually? There we go. That there. Make this smaller. That's technically what I'm looking for. Just slight imperfections in there. There we go. God, the game's good. Well, good to hear Diablo 4 is at least holding your attention, okay? I know at least when it comes down to it, you can always be a little bit careful that Blizzard is just not going to be treating you super well. It's definitely a slightly smaller detail, but it's better when you're zoomed in a little bit for texture. Okay. And thank you, Boo, for the extra coolant. We'll be wrapping up decently soon anyhow, so I'm glad it's good. Everyone has serious reasons to be concerned after the Immortal fiasco. I mean, yeah, who wouldn't be worried about when people are just asking you to play on your phone? Oh god, that was a nightmare when that actually came out. Oops. I should be better at just base coloring. I know I was just trying to freehand this, but I left way too many gaps. I'm installing the D4 beta at the moment, seeing if I can get lucky and trying it real quick. I'm sure you could, but the servers themselves don't seem too bad from what K and Air have been talking about so far, but... And if you have what I read correct, you have till the 27th at 6 p.m. UK time to play. And no disconnects today? That's pretty good. And 27th, 6 p.m. UK time would be about midnight our time bit, so you've still got a good amount of time to like pop into it and figure it out. Well, not midnight, sorry. 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock our night, our time on the 27th. But either way, you've got plenty of time to actually figure it out. There. Go to Line Daddy. Just trying to figure out the power button real quick. Because functionally speaking, it should just be like a neon plug-in light. It's not supposed to be anything super fancy, but neon light. Let's see here. Yeah, it would just be pure glow. Even the outline would be pretty much the same color. Okay. Whoops. Probably help if you're on the right thing. And then what will matter is more so just the glow that we put around this being roughly the same color as our tubing. There we go. And then not really a problem on this front. I guess then, just as a random question for you a bit, have you looked enough into the D4 beta to see whether or not like there's a class that you'd want to play right out of the gate, or do you still need to figure that out? Because I'm assuming it's like similar options to every other Diablo game at this rate, but I'd never be too sure. You want to play Barbarian? Gonna go smack some fools? Yep. And then if we want to put a glow over everything else, then we'll be doing this, this, and this. Select expand to there. Make this a wee bit bigger. It realistically should be faded out a bit more. We can do that, and then just make it a little bit more intense directly around it. There we go. There we go. And then you can go out a bit more. There. See, Air has a weapon that allows her to whirlwind, or her whirlwind rather, to make 3 dust devils as a barbarian. Okay. That's not sounding very Diablo, and that's sounding very much Path of Exile now. Is it just a weapon that has like an added extra ability, or? Ah. Oh, it's a legendary weapon. Okay. Necromancer, Druid, Barb, Sork, and Rogue. Okay, all can be made M or F. Good. Everyone I watch on YouTube says it's bad. That magic is really overpowered compared to the melee. Eesh. That's certainly not good. That'd be making me tempted to play a Rogue, to be completely honest with you. Oops. Then these can be put in their own layer. Hair clip. There. I'll have to stay on top though. Alright. We want to do a little bit of the hair just while we're getting close to the end of the stream. Hey, buddy. Where the heck did you go? I used a bucket tool on the hair, that shouldn't be disappearing. Up. I'm not 100% certain if I would want to download the beta, because Kay, you kind of said this was a chunky one, right? Like 85 gigabytes for the beta this time? Dude. Oh, I was just wondering if the file size on the beta was relatively large. I think you mentioned it was like 85 gigabytes or something fairly large like that. Adjusting my ducking on the fly is probably not the smartest thing. Good. Yeah, 85 gig Act 1 has me very much not wanting to do that. But, oof, I guess? I guess we're gonna have to kinda... Yeah, it's killing it. I just want a little bit downturn. That's all I'm looking for, compressor. Dude, that does make me at least hope to God that that's the full file size, but... Well, I'm not gonna put it past them. I guess we're gonna have to see either way, but... Dude. I'm just gonna make your group folder now. Error. Oops. Mm -hmm. Alright then, where do we start with my monstrous mug? I need a small brush. Oops. Also, considering it's at least a Saturday night, we should realistically be seeing a few people online, right? Send you some screenshots of my attacks? Okay. I'll have to take a quick peek when we are in the just chatting section, just because on the off chance of tabbing over, I don't necessarily want to open up anything naughty. But thank you, Kay. It'll be good reference at least, because I don't really feel like downloading 85 gigabytes just to see how attack animations look. That part's getting suitably dark. Probably going a little bit too blue for the shading though. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay. Let's see. I kind of droned off on my thought, but we should realistically have people to actually raid today, yeah. Saturdays is at least relatively available when it comes down to people streaming. Air isn't streaming by chance, are they, Kay? Can't say I've been looking at pings on my Discord while I stream, unfortunately. we go. Oh, looking at the time, we're kind of nearing the end anyhow, so I'll be able to check out who's actually available in a second. Because I know Salty's going, so that would technically be an art stream we could raid to follow up on us actually doing art. Let's see here. There we go. If you never end stream, you don't have to worry about raiding. If I never end stream, though, my voice is going to die, so I unfortunately don't quite have the luxury that you do in not being forced to talk the entire time. So that would cause just greater problems for me, unfortunately. No. But at least when it does come to my hair, we'll figure it out in time. It may take us a slight majority of the next stream, but we'll get it. As we always do. It will obviously require slightly darker shades to actually help with this, but getting at least a medium darkness in here will help us a little bit in terms of how far we're going to need to go for everything. Ow. Yeah. No, I'll probably have to take some time cracking my neck properly. Yeah, that's going to be an annoying one. Oh well. That's just kind of what happens when you get past the 20 to 30-year warranty, depending on how acceptable stating your age online is nowadays. Dude. Probably should make sure I at least have art tax available, though, at least. Dude. Save. Export. Doodle. Oh. Not inherently a bad thing. Who needs sleep? I mean, sleep is a concern, but I'm not going to worry about sleeping right away. Thankfully, since I at least get to take some time off, I can just kind of, chill a bit and live the night owl life that I normally do. Because I can handle waking up at 6:30 every morning, but body does not like me waking up at 6:30 every morning for a week and weeks and months at a time. So this week, I can actually say fuck it and sleep in a little bit, which will actually be a nice change of pace for once. Let's see here. Okay, you got some ice novas going. That's pretty good. And some general chill spells. And they actually kind of start you off in a fairly cold region as well, which is kind of interesting to see. That's pretty good at least. Let's see here. Who is online? Sako's online. Zay is online. I'm assuming a lot of our art crew is actually just online today, aren't they? Thanks for the stream. Well, thank you for joining us, Izo. The skill tree is very much Path of Exile. Okay. Well, I mean, if they're going to ape off of Path of Exile, then they may as well ape off of Path of Exile.
Salty is, yeah, Salty's up here. Who would we want to raid into? Technically, Salty would be a valid target, actually. That does actually sit within my usual 10% allowance. There is also the Soku going, but should probably follow art up with art where possible. Yeah, fuck it. Why don't we just go over to Salty? That Soku stream is cursed right now. In what way is it cursed exactly, Omega? Just because Soku in and of itself is just cursed no matter what you try, but are they doing something super weird or... Fuck. My keyboard changed to the Canadian keyboard again. God, I hate that. There we go. They're trying out a weather mod for April Fools. A weather mod? Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna have to check on that then, just because I'm not 100% certain what a weather mod for Soku would actually look like. But I guess we can both take a look at that afterwards. But we'll go right into Salty for now, just because they are a... Okay, I do have that in the right audio channel. Salty is at least friend of our groups, and I do talk with him occasionally. But good pixel artist, so let's go say hi. Do want to thank everyone for sitting by us while we're working on the Jude doll. Hopefully we get that done relatively soon. And then for the folks who are at least curious to get a column off of that, I can at least provide 3 examples that I'm proud of. So that'll at least be a relatively good touch. Aside from that, though, this is the end of my usual streaming week. So we'll be back next week with some... What the fuck are we doing on Wednesdays nowadays? Digimon Galeria, art, Minecraft. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, I'll see you next Wednesday for Minecraft. But have a good one, all. Bye-bye. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.